Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the HRO Adventures Podcast, episode number 16 from Electric City, Washington. How are you doing, Rusty?
I'm doing good. How are you, Dave?
Good. We got a great guest and a great location today.
We do.
Introduce your guest.
Well, and this is fantastic. He's already famous on the internet.
No,
not famous.
Infamous.
No. He's infamous on the internet. So, but you know, it's great. I've known Eric for years. We've had him on before. We had him out at the cabin here a month or so ago. It's great to have you back, Eric. It's really nice.
Problem.
And thanks for inviting us down to your little man cave in the world. I tell you what.
What a great place to record from.
It is. This is wonderful. And the guys that are going to watch this on YouTube are going to get to see, this is quite a treat. This is quite a treat to be sitting in your little man cave.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying every minute of it. In fact, we needed to start the podcast like an hour ago when we were visiting here. Well,
that's the good stuff.
That was the good stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't call it a doghouse because... you know what?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
man cave is fine.
Yeah,
I needed a place to put stuff. So
yeah. Well, it makes for marriage. Marriages go a lot better when you have a place to put your stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to get the boat. The boat
inside.
After I bought it, I needed to.
I know, and you shamed me because now I don't park my pickup in my garage because my boat's in my garage. I after listening to you last time, I'm going. Yeah, I got this new boat. I need to put it in the garage. I don't need this thing sitting out here.
You want to take care of your lawn. That's for sure.
So
it'll take care of you. There we go.
Dan down at Valley Marine would be happy with you.
Yeah, Dan Allen. Yeah, go see them.
We need to go see Dan. We haven't talked to Dan yet. So but now that we've got the boat out and about, and I've already hit my first rock with the prop, and I was on Banks Lake, right? So
oh boy. I've done that. It's scary.
We were doing like 25 miles an hour, just cruising. And all of a sudden, boom. I mean, we were in like 30 feet of water. And I'm like,
So you were paying attention to the depths.
Yes, I was.
Do you have a map on that?
I do. Dan set me up. I have a Garmin 93 UHV. Is that what it's called? 90.
And I know you can read maps. Did you have your glasses on?
I did not have my glasses
the alerts
on.
that go off.
So, but I sit far enough away from the Garmin.
Was the lake high or low? Do you remember?
It was high.
Well, it's all coming back to you. Human error.
Yeah, there's really no other way to put it.
No, there isn't. I deal with boat guys all the time.
But as soon as I told somebody, they were going, well, where were you at? I said, I was on Banks Lake. Oh, yeah, that happens.
If you were talking to the insurance company, it's a little bit different.
I'll bet so. But actually, that 50-horse Merc has a 4-blade prop.
Oh,
and
so
I only hit
3.
one. Yeah, I know. I have a 3.5.
You only hit one.
I've only hit one. I'm not saying it's balanced right at the moment, but
is it missing?
No.
Okay.
It just bent that one little corner, but it did knock fixed. The fin on the bottom.
There's a
skag
precision propeller, I believe. They're still around. I think it's Spokane somewhere.
Yeah,
but they fix it properly.
Yeah, I found one online.
Yeah,
so I can get a new one. And everybody told me I should have an extra one anyway.
Yeah, and I used to have aluminum props and went to the stainless just because they don't flex when you're at high speeds. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, well, my boat doesn't know what high speeds is.
So they're a little bit tougher.
Are they a little bit tougher?
Just a little bit.
So, but it also broke that bottom part off.
The skag?
The skag.
That's not good.
So
I think you need to take it into Valley Marine.
I need to go down and see Dan.
An assessment.
You guys are not making me feel very
Welcome
good.
to boat ownership.
Welcome to boat ownership. So
break out another 1,000, if I remember the acronym correctly.
I believe that's correct. Yeah, my cousin told me a long time ago. He says, "You want to own a boat? Just go flush $100 down the toilet about every time you want to think about running a boat."
Yeah.
So anyway, well, so Eric, tell us. I'll let you introduce yourself of who you are and what you do.
Eric Braaten. Live here in Electric City. I've been a private lands biologist with the Department of Fish and Wildlife for about 34 years now.
Nice.
Wonderful years.
The 34 wonderful years. Yeah.
They've been pretty good. I have a really good career so far. Still going. So, but yeah, I primarily work with private landowners on lots of different things, from conservation projects, CRP, farm bill type stuff, out to hunting and fishing, programs. A lot of our private lands access stuff, all kinds of different things. But I focus on grouse projects right now, just because we have sage grouse and sharp-tails in one of the counties I work with, and trying to promote that type of conservation, because it's needed, and working with landowners on some of that. And it's nothing that they need to do different. It's just more awareness of what's going on the landscape, and
Right.
all that stuff. So
Well, and I know, on the farming side of my family, we just went through all the CRP signups, the safe signups, and all the new programs. We got a lot of stuff that's going to be put back in. We got some
Nice.
stuff that's going to be that we had taken out a bit or two ago, and now we're putting it back in. So some of that's going to be good, and I know a lot of that. And we'll be talking to you to get your expertise and as far as seeding it and what we've done in the past.
I mean, the federal government there's a lot of good and bad things about them, but and being a federal or state agency myself, I understand the complexities of government work, but when it comes to dealing with landowners, you have to provide a better service and outreach to get that across of what the needs are for the programs. And it's not done in the best way sometimes, and so it's kind of a challenge. I kind of beat my head against the wall a lot when working with some of the agencies, because they don't do it like I would do it, but it's not my program. It's not my, it's theirs.
Somebody that has a farming podcast, that would be a really good issue to take up, because I don't think that the USDA or the FSA office, or be the Washington part of the USDA, do a very good job of training their employees on dealing with landowners, and yet that's all they do is deal with landowners. And so why is that not a
priority?
That needs to be a 2-credit class or something,
Something.
that these guys are taking.
Yeah, I know there's some training and boot camps or onboarding type, emphasis type stuff. But, I always used to say, NRCS has the word service in it, and also a farm service agency, FSA has the word service, but you find very little of it in both of those.
Correct.
In the old days you did. I mean, your dad could probably say, yeah, I sat down with so-and-so and we went over my options, and we figured that this was the best option based on, what they had provided, the service they provided to me. And nowadays it's all, they're getting ready to do online, computerized kiosks, self-service type portals.
Right.
And
gosh.
most farmers
Right.
aren't ready
Last
for
thing they
any
were
of
ready
that.
for.
And we grew up with technology, but I'm not an expert in it, even with what I do today. And so you're really, I can see the certain, even the third generation struggling with it,
Right.
I can't imagine second generations are excited at all
Well,
about any of it.
And
but-
to segue back into the WDFW, when we went to the wild ID numbers, my dad was like, "What? I got to get online? I have to sign in now?
Yeah.
I don't know all this stuff."
Right.
And so there's a lot of us in my generation that are doing that for the older generation because they don't want to do it. They don't want to get on and
sounds
log
like
on.
the future is paperless coming close. So
Yeah, it is.
we're going to go through another
We're gonna deal with it.
change.
If
I
we
think
could just get the license down to a
be just on your phone.
card, not all the paperwork. I got to
Yeah.
carry all my fishing paperwork to go hunting, and
Right.
I'd like to spread those in different boxes, and it's almost impossible.
Well,
right now.
it's to me it seems like, boy, we're really going down a rabbit hole here, but which is my MO here. But it seems to me like the technology is already there. They could just give me a card with a QR code on it that I could scan with
It's
my
coming.
phone or
It's
whatever,
coming. It's
and
It's coming.
here's my list.
It's coming.
Well, and you got
That's all I
states.
can say. I can't tell you when, but I know it's coming.
And you have states where they got to wear the number on their back, right? So from the road with binoculars, I can see 156 and look you up, and so I mean, there's all kinds of
So
different ways.
the technology's there. I mean,
you can do it with your insurance for your car.
if I can put an ear tag on my cow that they know exactly where it goes and everything else, I'm pretty sure an air tag in my pocket or one on my boat so nobody can steal it.
Go down to the hardware store and get one stuck in you.
I'm fairly certain that
Yeah,
following me around with my driver's license and my hunting license would not be a problem.
It'd be neat to attach it to the driver's license or something, wouldn't it? That'd be kind of slick.
Yeah.
maybe you get like a free one with that package, the Go Hunt package.
Yeah.
Just give you a big tattoo or something.
Well, the CEO that got caught at the Coldplay concert,
gosh.
I can just see, here we go, So there's some really cool things with it, and I think that we can do that.
I hunted in Idaho this year, and their agency has created this online system where you can go on and it provides you how to do your harvest, your reports, buy a license, a fishing. It's just convenience. And you need that convenience anymore because people are so busy with schedules and scheduling and just if you can make it easy and make it simple, which I know government doesn't tend to do. But I think we're getting to a place that you're going to see that start to come out, especially with our agency down the road.
It could push compliance, right? If it's easy.
It could
more
be
people
10 years
comply.
from now. It could be a couple of years from now. I don't know. I just know it's coming.
Yeah. And if I was looking for a job at Fish and Wildlife right now, I would want to make sure that I had skills to talk to people face to face.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're really easily replaced if all you can do is push buttons and handle the computer and do those kind of things. But once there puts into the human element into it, then all of a sudden AI can't take that over.
Yeah.
Right.
You still need to be able to go out and talk to the landowners. You need to be able to interface with people out at the fence, at the gate,
there's
or
a
whatever.
lot of stuff that needs to be hands-on. Just this last week, I had a call from our office. A landowner had his place burned up in a fire up in Okanagan County.
Right.
And he was worried about, they saved his home, but he was worried about the critters that were still around, wanting to know what options he had, if there was any assistance or what they should do. They had no idea what to do or what to expect. So I kind of, unfortunately, we have lots of experience with fires in Douglas County.
Yeah, you do.
And so I just kind of shared what I went through and what I worked with landowners and what we kind of concentrated on those first years. We got winter coming and there's probably going to be, not a lot of cover for them to hide in. So there's probably going to be some predation, just the reality of what a fire does to a population, and next year will be better and the year after that will be better as long as it doesn't burn again. But, there's certain things like creating brush piles and maybe having some different plantings. You have a clean landscape. Maybe you want to throw some plants out there this fall for the future. But, just trying to give them some and provide them some contacts with local resources like the conservation districts or, and I even told them myself, I said, if I find some trees and shrubs, and I'll bring them up, you know, because I like working with landowners that have an interest with wildlife, and so we don't mind. I'd rather give them than to somebody that doesn't appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's perfect with the landowners that want to be fire wise, that know that kind of stuff, and they want to know from you what should I be growing, because now they have an opportunity to start fresh. You're not stuck with whatever tree was on the place when you bought it.
We focus on a lot of native stuff because of native species, native habitats, native ecosystems, but there's carrageenan, as you know, we planted that stuff in the 40s and when we were the game department, we were hook and bullet management, and when you're trying to grow stuff for pheasants, which was the primary focus, or upland birds, Siberian scrub pea or carrageenan was like one of the top things we put in those food plots, and it's fire resistant. You can burn that stuff to the ground and it'll come right back. It does, and it comes back and it produces a little pea pod and it provides a little seed source, but it also provides cover, and it's really kind of a cool plant that, and so they still sell it. You can, so I recommend that those types of plants. I know that in an area where you have fire regimes or, these annual or 10-year fires or whatever, and you still want to keep habitat on the ground.
Yeah. Well,
there could.
And you and I have seen that, the one landowner that I have a lease from, he's got several springs on his property. Mm-hmm. And every one of those springs has a wet spot around it before it flows off. And the poplar trees are thick. I mean, right. When I first started hunting that years ago, you couldn't hardly walk through the poplars. You could see the bear trail through there, or you could see how deer got in and out, and then the little critters. But you couldn't walk through it. Well, then it burned.
Right.
And, I mean, it burned it to the ground. And I thought it killed it. Man, the next year, we're talking less than 12 months, we had 8-foot poplar trees.
Right.
I mean, they shoot up. I mean, it's like bamboo or something.
Fire has a way of regenerating ecosystems and plant communities like you wouldn't believe. There's plants up in the mountains one's called red stem ceanothus. It's the same thing, and it's good for mule deer. And it needs fire. And I think there's certain plants out there that the seeds there, once in a while you'll see them. If you get the right amount of rainfall, they'll germinate. But there's also plants that are very fire. They need fire to produce.
Absolutely.
And like the poplar, it burnt the old tree.
Yep.
Sends those, and that the part that's underground is still alive. And it just sends down roots, and then those roots are looking for anything, and they're sending up shoots, and that's how you get those thickets like you're talking about. And so, but after 50 years of it, those things will thin out because you'll have less and less water in that spring, or maybe you'll have dry years, and so they'll thin it out. But it is kind of cool, and I always, when we're doing restoration projects, I have to be aware of those elements because I'm wasting my money if I'm going in there and planting $3 shrubs, knowing that there's going to be a bunch of natural reproduction.
Yeah,
you're kind of wasting your time.
Out-competed.
So I like to go into some of those communities and just assess to see what's coming, and then see what the needs are, and then go in. And plant.
Smart deal.
But having been there, doing something else with them before that happened probably is helpful too, right? Because you already know the lay of the land as far as what's going to grow.
Yeah, so, absolutely. No, that was good. So we could talk about that all day, and we proved that last time you were here because we had to cut it into 2 programs. But one of the things I wanted to do today that we talked about when I was inviting you onto the podcast today was I really wanted somebody to go through the pamphlet with me. Thank you, because I was beginning, what do I call it? I'm pretty sure it was a pamphlet, but I wasn't sure. But thank you. To go through the pamphlet, because I think there's a lot of people out there that, they automatically thumb to, right here at the very beginning, we go right to the prices.
Assume those things didn't change.
Yeah, and you go to look at that. Now, our budget in this state did change the prices. So when you get down here to page, 8. You get down to page 8 with all the prices on here. That has all changed since this pamphlet was printed. Now, did they print new pamphlets?
No.
With the new prices?
No.
Okay.
But
so
they'll probably be in the next year's.
Yeah, so don't be surprised when you have a pamphlet that tells you one price and you walk in to buy.
$1,000 later.
Because of
wait a minute.
July 1st, it's all went up 48% or whatever.
It was a 37, I think.
37%.
Something like that, yeah.
So, that's what I want to do today is I want to kind of go through the pamphlet with you. And I'm sure we're going to talk about some stuff that's going to take us down some rabbit holes.
Yeah.
But that's a good place to start, is right there with the license information and license requirements.
Yeah, it's pretty ominous when you look at the license sheet. The top item, the Get Outdoors package, is probably the most popular, and it's probably the easiest thing for land. If you're going to hunt basic most of the species in the state, that's the best one to purchase. It gets you basically every tag, and it gives you a discounted small game license. Mm-hmm. If you're a turkey hunter in the state, you already probably got a turkey tag and a small game license, and so when I go turkey hunting, that's when I buy everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that in the spring of the year. And then I get my new fishing license, and so I don't have to worry about anything. So that's when I do all my. I don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah, I do the same
thing.
But
so I wasn't charged the whatever fee that they increased it by,
right.
30% or whatever it was. So, so I saved a little bit of money, but next year I'll have to pay.
You'll have to pay it, yeah.
Everybody else,
So, yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so West Side stuff, mainly Puget Sound and crabbing. I used to do it the way you're doing it. Number one, it's kind of a donation. I don't mind supporting it, and I'd buy everything. Well, they keep closing 13 and 11. This week we can crab. All of a sudden, it's now permanently closed. So now I am like, it's turkey season. I got my turkey stuff. I'm not buying anything else because I don't know if it's even going to be open. There's been a few years where 13 didn't open at all, and it's like, here I have a pocket full of licenses and everything. So for West Sider, Puget Sound, I would say fishing, and I wonder if bear guys might be kind of falling into some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm literally waiting. I got to wait and see. And I mean, if you look at the dates in my mind, I need to know this stuff at the first of the year, not in March. And so it's become more of a logistical thing. Now it's a couple bucks, and like I said, I don't mind my money going to conservation stuff or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm like, am I going to be able to crab in August or not? Because 2 years we've been closed, and I had two licenses, and that's 4 of us at my house, and my dad and my brother, and we got people that come out from Pennsylvania and want to buy a license for the day, or like Idaho, right? I like, what would you like? The 25th through the 30th. Well, here they got to keep buying 3-dayers, but we're only going out for 9 days, and it's like, it's becoming. I used to buy everything just like you said, and now I literally have to go through the calendar. Who's coming in? Are we doing this or not? Then we're watching North of Falcon. We're watching 13 and 11.
And it gets even more complicated because if you were to put in a 9-day permit, now you're adding more stuff to the pamphlet.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it's like to kind of add that convenience for other users,
Yeah.
Well, I liked Idaho, where you go to the counter. I need it for today, tomorrow, and the next day, and it's a daily fee times 3 or times whatever.
Yeah.
Completely custom dates.
Yep.
I got a guy coming for 5 days, and I got to buy 2 3-dayers, and we'd waste the day, right? So I just felt like they could have something to encourage
There's
people
always
to do it,
a room for improvement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there always is.
But yeah, so the guys that designed 13 and 11 and crabbing, I'm on pause until I see what you're.
And I'll start
if
off
you're going to
with.
open it before I go buy it.
I actually like the license information and requirements page.
Yeah.
It's way easier than it was 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
20 years ago, you could not figure out
dissecting what exactly area do I need.
So what am I buying? I don't know what I'm paying for. But I did have a friend that does the same thing that what Eric and I talked about, where we buy everything at once in the very beginning. So I buy all the special permit, all that stuff. You don't have a area to put in for yet, or you don't know what group you're putting in for, but you have it. So all you have to do is go on and fill it out.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I liked about the Wild ID deal is I go on and do my own thing. Well, I had a friend, he does the same thing, buys all this stuff, and then he missed the draw. He forgot to put in. So he spent all that extra money and didn't put in for anything.
Right.
And so he was like, I'm never buying that stuff again. You can buy it all right before you put in for it. But
it's you got to, it's just one of those things like.
You got to manage it.
You have
to be paying attention because stuff can change. But even like with the multi-season permits, and you have different deadlines and different drawings. You got the raffle tags. You got special permits. Then you got on top of that they have incentive opportunities, and you got master hunters that have their places in here, and it's it can be daunting when you don't know where to find stuff, and then you go online and you can surf our website for a long time just trying to find this.
Trying to find
Everybody waits for this.
Yeah,
Because it's
exactly.
easy, and this is like the Bible,
Yeah.
You can take your time and read it. When you're on a computer, it's like it gets.
And so, and that's one of the
Harder.
reasons I wanted to go through the pamphlet today, was because there are probably 25 to, well, there's probably more than that. There's probably about 50 pages in this that I never read. And so, like page 12, mandatory hunter reporting. And so it gives you all of this about talking about that.
Right.
But this is the page where you find out about hunter orange.
Yep.
Now, if I was looking to find out what the rules are for hunter orange, this is probably not where I would go.
Right.
So you really do need to sit down and take some time to go
to
over
at least
this.
know
Correct.
And
where
so,
things are. Yeah.
And then the next page over there, page 13, it says definitions, which I would thought, well, I'm a smart guy. I've been hunting
Yeah,
here
been
all
doing
my
this
life.
forever, yeah.
So I know all these things. And all of a sudden I'm looking at this when I was getting ready for the podcast, and I'm going, I didn't know it said that. I didn't
Right.
know that said that,
Yeah, the hard part about this book is that if most guys don't read instructions anyway. We just give me the license and just throw that.
I know what I'm doing. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And so it kind of, but once you start diving into it, you kind of figure out, okay, now that makes more sense. And my friend was wrong what he told me last year.
We weren't supposed to do that.
or it's not if like the 3-point rule, or it got to be an inch.
Yep.
But it kind of shows you where they measure that.
Yeah, how to measure that.
It's not a ring.
Pretty cut and dry. Yeah.
It's not a ring.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and the guys from California, that's all it has. I just have to hang my ring on it. I'm going,
Yeah.
we're gonna actually.
That's like the penny in the tire, right? It's like, that's kind of a wives' tale. I mean,
Right.
Schwab might have something to say about that.
They might have a little bit different say.
But yeah, there's a lot of information in here, and once you, even our staff, people that I work with, I say, hey, you guys need to read this, because it changes year in and year out. We do get to preview it
Oh, you do.
as employees and kind of go through, and if there's like red glaring issues, we get to bring them up
Right.
and maybe to have a discussion about fixing some stuff or whatever. They don't just like turn it out.
Yeah.
It goes through a pretty hard preview,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
you know.
yeah.
But
Well, and I like that.
but we still have mistakes. There is a mistake page. We still have.
Oh yeah, and when
It's
they
like-
find it, they'll print the new
Well,
page.
Yeah,
and-
or the public finds it and goes, "What the heck are you guys doing?" And
Yeah.
it's like it's just something somebody missed. You
yeah,
know, and,
absolutely.
You know what would be helpful is in the aviation world, we have tons of government regs, right? If something changed, a little black line is in there, and you can literally flip through and go, "Oh, that's new. Oh, that's new," and you can get up to speed so
Yeah.
fast.
And this
Something
book,
as simple as that
Yeah.
would
we
grab
use
your attention.
we use red letters
Yeah.
in some of this,
Yeah.
but
the red letters. If you see the red letters, that
Yeah,
means
you
it was
better
a
stop.
change.
usually
you need to go
usually
read
a
that.
date on a
Yep.
season or a
Mhm.
quota number
Yep.
or a
Yeah.
maybe a
But for
different
example,
name.
you might flip through and some definitions change. Like I wasn't
Right.
even looking for
I wasn't even
definitions.
looking-
I should
yeah.
probably take
Correct.
a peek at that.
Well, and that's just it. I'm going to jump to page 71 here, Eric, so you can kind of catch up with me. And this is where it starts with the part of that I just start flipping through. I think I know the difference between a coyote and a wolf. I think I know the difference between a lynx and a bobcat. My bears. But that's what these pages are for.
Yeah, it's got great info.
But
if
it's
you
got
don't.
great info.
Yeah.
Even though I think I would recognize the difference between a wolf and a coyote just by looking at it. But this gives you different things to look at.
And
Absolutely.
we do have
That's
bear
good.
season coming up, and there if
Yes.
you hunt northeast, there is an online bear
Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty
procedure,
decent.
and
Yeah.
it's a good little
It's a
test,
good one,
but
yeah.
but you need it to have to be able to hunt in
Yep.
certain units of
Yeah. And everybody, this is one of those ones on the next page when you start talking about Discover passes and being able to park and being able to recreate on
Yeah,
that
I
public
hate
land.
that thing too.
I do
As far-
too,
As far
and-
as I can't switch it between my vehicles if I loan my truck out and I'm going to do something else. I paid for the thing, but I can only put 2 licenses and I got 4 cars.
And you got
right?
4 cars, and that's the thing, and it
It'd be
went
nice
up
to just
$15. I think it went from 30 to 45 or
yeah,
something like that.
Sounds right.
So it went up, but This is another one of those. Your buddy goes, "Oh, you don't need it here," and then
Yeah.
you come back and there's a ticket on your
There's
rig.
that
and,
little
oh,
placard
I do need it
underneath
here.
some of them.
This does do a good job of letting
yeah.
you know
So
that.
we have our own. We have our. If you buy a hunting and fishing license, you get a permit, and that's good on any of our wildlife
your-
areas,
well,
or,
on your parking
or
spots.
launches or stuff. If you are on managed DNR lands like the Loomis Forest up in Okanagan, you need a Discover Pass. There's certain, and they usually have them signed now where you need it. There's still some confusion on DNR that's publicly accessible by a county right of way and stuff like that, and whether you need a Discover Pass. State parks, you need a Discover Pass to park or access, and you can buy daily ones, but it's cheaper just to go and buy one every year, have it in
Yeah.
your vehicle,
Throw both up on the dashboard.
and just have it so that you can just have it displayed, and because you never know if you are in the, like with DNR, they change their stuff a lot, and we've had a few instances where all of a sudden a sign pops up and there hasn't been one there for like 25 years. You're like, oh man, so I always have one in my rig, my wife's rig, and that way if we want to go out to the park and take the dogs for a walk, we don't have to worry about it.
No.
But on any of the department Fish and Wildlife, you still need your little placard that you get it free
The
with your
access
licenses,
card, yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Just get both. That's
and
my-
there's a lot of
that's the way I
times,
do
yeah,
it.
exactly, that I hang both. I'm
the
not sure
confu-
which one I
yeah,
need
the
or what I
confusion
need.
is that they're the same, and they're not. They're
No.
actually different.
Yeah.
They're actually
They
different.
are you both yellow, which we should probably change that. But it's just. And then the other thing is that the tape that some of the tape that the Discover Passes were printed on were faded in the sunlight.
Yeah, they sure
Oh
are.
yeah.
And they would turn black, and then the park ranger or the DNR guy couldn't read them. But there's certain printers now that you actually get them on a card, and they won't fade. So
Right. Well,
depending on where you're buying it.
You know
Depends
that
where you buy
the
it, yeah.
the VAP that we get, that piece of paper that you put in there, catch the little corners and everything else. Yeah, that thing sitting in the sun will roll up on you, come
Yeah.
right out of there and roll right up,
Right.
and then you're like, well, now what if that falls out? As I'm taping it in and everything, because it changed colors in the sun
Maybe
too.
that can be added to my tabs when I renew each year.
Well,
and that way they can just run a plate and
I don't know
see you've got it.
how well that works over in Western Washington. Probably don't get the sun that I get in Douglas County on the front.
No, I
window of
mean
my truck.
turn it all into electronic where you
Oh,
just
there.
Oh yeah.
guy
Oh,
could
yeah.
drive by, not even interact with somebody, scan a plate, and it shows up that there's a Discover Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or just like they do with a lot of parking, especially on bases and stuff, where they put the sticker in the window.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah.
just buy the sticker and it sticks in your window all the time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got a number and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technology is going to change, folks, and so just be ready. I mean, right now we got it to where I can hang it in the deal, but they're going to come up with something. So
Yeah.
Yep.
be ready and be watching. So the next thing here was Turn In a Poacher, the tip trailer, and Turn In a Poacher program, and all those things. There is a lot of people that do not know about the Turn In a Poacher program. I don't know how many hunters I run into and visit with and talk about and say, hey, that these guys are telling me about somebody that they saw shoot a deer. And
Yeah,
this and
there's
that.
a
I said,
process,
Hey,
right?
did you
Yeah.
turn it in? And they go, well, no, because by the time somebody shows up out here to arrest them or whatever, it wouldn't be worth it. And I'm going, you need to read that part.
Yeah,
Because it is kinda worth
there's
it.
a Wildcom phone number that you can always call and get help, or there's somebody on the line
You're right.
with certain times of the day, not all night.
There was
Oh,
some
yeah.
training at one
If
point.
it's an emergency, you call 911.
yeah.
I mean, and that gets the county sheriff out there. If
Right.
like you're a landowner, if it's a trespass, you've done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get
And you probably don't need to
somebody to
interact
deal with
them.
the problem, especially
I
if
mean,
it's
you
a
don't
serious
know what-
problem.
you don't know
If
what's out there, right?
Exactly. So, but as far as the tip program, it kind of starts. We're pretty limited on where officers are at. They're in different detachments, and
Yeah.
and if it's opening day of hunting season, they're busy.
They're
Pretty
busy.
busy.
They are busy.
And we have different openings on different seasons, and so
Yeah.
there's you're not always going to find somebody. So, but those tips actually go into that system to where they can go through it.
Right.
and figure out
Right.
who needs to respond.
Well, and the information, what my experience with the TIP program is the information that we give them may not lead to anything right at the moment.
Yeah, could
but
be something
that
bigger,
also
yeah.
will be used in an investigation later. So it'll be come up in a queue when somebody goes, "Hey, I just found this guy. He's poaching deer over here," and all of a sudden they go back to the TIP program and
9
go, "Whoa,
reports
wait a
over
minute.
there, yeah.
This guy got turned in a couple weeks ago. We never did see him after that, but here he is again." And so it's important that you just put that stuff in there. If we're going to catch these guys and stop some of these knuckleheads from doing bad
There's
things.
got to be the incentive to not be doing this
Yeah,
stuff, right? If it appears
absolutely.
no one's going to get involved,
Absolutely.
then yeah.
And so
They have,
remember
and
to-
the reward program. I mean, that's a
I
big
like the
one.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if
I
you're
mean-
going to put in for draws,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
I
helps.
mean, and I
Absolutely.
need all the help I can get. Right? We all do. I didn't draw anything this year. Again, I'm like anybody else. So I mean, I've been pretty blessed. But I mean, I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, I didn't even get a doe permit. Or you're just like, wow, what do you got?
It said
20
here-
points for a doe permit nowadays. But I mean, we just have a lot of
Right.
a lot of people in the state
Right.
hunting. A lot of.
Well,
and it's not a perfect system.
And
but-
we talked about this on an earlier one. The quota numbers are all down, and so if you looked at all that, and if you've been paying attention over the years, and you can look at it and go, okay, well, there used to be 50 tags here, now there's
Yeah.
25.
Makes
I'm
sense.
probably not going to get drawed this year. I only got drawed every
Right.
fourth year anyway. Now all of a sudden it's going to be every 6 years or whatever.
I know.
So, yeah, because everybody thinks I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm the unluckiest guy when it comes to draws. But just because I've lived longer,
Yeah.
I
Points
have
for
gotten drawn on a
longevity,
few
right?
things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And so, but I have been blessed. I've been blessed with a moose tag. I've been blessed with a goat tag, and I've been blessed with some of these things. So, and I feel that way, absolutely. But yeah, I didn't get nothing. This is like third year in a row for me that I've got zip.
Yeah.
So,
But
I lived through my fantasy
Yeah.
of my son getting a draw for a desert tag
well,
last year. So.
well, I put my son in. He didn't draw either. So I'm like, I think you need to put in on your own.
Well, I told
We've been trying to put in for a late season whitetail tag down in the Blue Mountains for like, I don't know, 15 years now. It seems like forever.
Yeah.
And I remember it back in the day. It only took
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 points, and you got a permit. And there's only like 80 permits now, I think. We've been putting it as a group,
yeah.
and try so we can all go together and have a nice hunt, And we have places to go, we have places to hunt. We know there's deer there, and
Yep.
it's like, I just need the tag.
Just need the tag.
And we cannot draw that tag. I don't know what else we're gonna do. It's annoying because I just know.
I got a couple landowner family and friends down in Region 3.
Yeah.
And they've turned in some trespassers and some poachers and done that. And he was just stacking them all on the branched antler bull permit that he wanted. And so, he had like 35 points or some crazy thing. He got drawed for it. So, it does work. It's worth putting in. It's worth doing.
So is he in the Clockham?
I don't know if I could, say that without him killing me. So
Okay. We might have to talk after this.
okay.
I have a 12-year-old boy that drew the Clockham bull tag, one of the rifle tags.
Oh.
Our 14-year-old. He's probably 14 now.
Well, yeah, you and me will talk later.
Okay.
I might be able to,
I don't know. I
14-year-old kid
well,
and drew the
but
rifle bull tag.
his dad doesn't like him anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he calls him really lucky,
Yeah.
And he drew the Chelan Butte tag a few years ago. So
I
he's
know
got
this
the
kid.
sheep.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And so I helped him on that hunt. Well, his dad and me, we always, during the draw, when the draws come out, we're texting each other, and he's like, "You won't believe what my kid drew," And I'm like, "What do you draw?" A Clockham bull tag. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, are you serious?" I go,
Yeah.
he goes, "He's the luckiest kid."
Yeah.
And so, it's it's a good thing, I mean, it's kind of cool.
Well, oil tags for kids, they don't know just how.
I am going on a moose
Special.
hunt this year. I have a buddy
Yeah.
I'm kind of paying it forward. So the bull above me here,
Yeah.
that bull that I got down the Blues, down in Mountain View years ago, 2001. My buddy helped me get that bull. He took me out. And he
okay.
kind of helped me. Well, his son, who's now in his 30s, 40s, he's not 40s yet. He drew a huckleberry moose tag.
Ooh, nice.
So
Nice.
I shot my huckleberry mooses right up there, and when I saved one of the scapulas off of it, and I'm going to use it to rake in a bull.
Yeah?
Hopefully.
Oh, very cool.
Now that would be cool. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I
I'm
like
excited. So I might get to go on a moose hunt, even though I didn't draw anything this year, and I was pretty depressed. It's nice to have friends that draw stuff.
That. Yeah, it is.
Because it extends
is.
it kind of gives you hope for the future.
It does.
But you get to be a part of it. I
Well,
like being a part of a hunt. Going out with buddies and stuff.
That boy's dad.
Yep.
He got to go sheep hunting
That's
on
true.
Chelan Butte
Exactly.
in the hunt. He didn't shoot, but he
No.
got to go on the hunts, do the
Yeah.
spotting, do the whole thing. That's the part. As a guide, what I do with Hen Ranch Outfitters is.
Right.
I'm almost getting to the point where, like I drew the moose tag here a couple of years ago, and I was like, I had to carry a rifle, and I was like, I don't know how to carry a rifle anymore because it had been so many years.
Right.
And so those kind of things, I just love going on the hunt.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so knowing
No,
people that draw is a big deal.
Well, it's just being out there. If I was to tell anybody, like if you're going to put in for I have a buddy that drew an Entiat mule deer tag this year, and he's like excited.
Okay, well, are we supposed to get snow this year?
Yeah.
Because that tag
So
is
he's-
really,
but-
really good. when it
Well, yeah,
snows.
but I've been putting in for it, but I've never hunted it. So I'm thinking,
Yeah.
well, if you ever want to know what it's like, and you have somebody that
Yes.
ask them if you can go along, or
Yes.
and maybe they don't want you along, but whatever you can do. I mean, we'll go and just help spot deer, or just you just want to see if it's something that, because you've always visually in your head,
Yeah.
you're like, what's it like? Like moose hunting. Moose hunting was like one of those things where I was out of my element. I'm up there wallowing like a
Oh,
cow,
yeah.
and I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like an idiot. But it worked.
Well,
So I mean, it's just
I,
but it's not like an elk. It's not like an elk tag because you know how to elk hunt,
Right.
Because you've done it before.
because you've done it before.
You don't moose hunt every year.
No.
Yeah.
But when I
Just like sheep.
and you know me, I cheated on my moose hunt. I just called Josh. I just went, this is a once in a lifetime deal. I'm not screwing this up, and yet I screwed it up. But I called Josh, and when we started hunting, I just was like, oh my word. If I wouldn't have called Josh, I would have been lost.
Yeah.
You would have heard about search and
learned so
rescue
much.
pulling me out of the woods. I mean,
I
it
learned
was
so much
crazy.
from a lot of people. I was blessed to know a lot of people that knew stuff about moose hunting. And,
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, it's really neat.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
not about
It
getting
is.
something. I mean, it's about being out there, enjoying the outdoors, and being part of something. And
Well, I didn't turn any moose down. I'll just be honest about this thing. Well, I'll take that back. I did too turn one down. And we had one that we went in on that we thought was questionable, and we didn't get a shot at him. I could have shot a long ways away from him, but we went in anyway. That's another story for another day. But Josh, I had so much fun hunting with him. And, I just called him because I knew who he was. Never had met him or anything else. We talked on the phone. We made a deal, and I went. But I loved hunting with Josh. I learned so much, and it was just hanging out with him, hunting
and
with
that's
him.
kind of like
It was just so fun.
your operation is. You live out there just like Josh lives where he lives.
where he lives,
You
yeah.
know, guys that live with elk, they're like running around.
I
I know
know.
guys that grew up, up in Northeast that took their kids out just to look at moose and call moose in for fun.
For fun,
Let's
yeah.
go call into moose and video 'em. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just something that you do.
Well,
live in those areas of the state.
A half an hour ago, Eric, we saw turkeys walk through your, and you started talking to him. I'm going, okay, he lives with turkeys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So,
this
yeah.
morning, leaving Snoqualmie, right, I had to let the herd walk by, so all the
Oh,
elk were out
yeah.
in the mist.
Yeah.
and-
You
What
sent me
reminded me
big
how
bull
lucky
pictures
that
from,
is.
downtown.
We
Yeah,
don't
they're
have a
eating the
short
flowers
Bend.
in the front yard. Yeah. Not quite the same.
So, all right, we need to get back to this. We're going to be here forever. 74, we start talking about violations and penalties. Maybe we need to get an enforcement agent to go through and start talking about these things. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Eric, was because I know you get calls from the landowners that are around here when things are happening and things are going down in an adverse way. Violations are happening or trespasses, whatever. And you kind of deal between the enforcement agents and the landowners, or the enforcement agents and the hunters. And what can you tell us about if you're out hunting and an enforcement truck, as you come back to the parking lot and there's an enforcement truck parked behind your pickup, what kind of advice can you give us when you get faced with that or faced with somebody?
Well, and I see it all the time because people,
Yes.
I'm in uniform when I'm out during.
Yeah, they react different when they see
They don't,
you.
and they don't know.
They don't
who you
know.
are.
They don't know what you are yet,
Nope.
right?
No, and they're nervous, and sometimes the people, and they know you,
Right.
and so everything's good. But most of the time it's minor violations for the most part, and I've seen lots of people out walking around with no orange on. That's a big one. There's other ones where they're hunting in the wrong area. They didn't read the map right, or
Not sure where they
that
are,
type of thing. But some of them they parked behind a sign, in tall grass. I mean, just like common sense type stuff. Very hot out. There's all kinds of different things.
So let's think about this a little.
Yeah, I mean, so just we get a lot of traffic in a lot of our wildlife areas, and so you get lots of people interacting with each other, which creates, I was here first. This is, it's public land, and so the smart guys are the guys that get up super early or think about stuff before they go, and they're not just showing up opening day and hoping for a Hail Mary,
Right. Yeah,
They,
haven't
they're
read
actually
anything.
planning their hunt and walking in early before daylight and doing all the right things. But notching your tag, that's a big one.
Those are
Oh,
big
that's
ones,
a big
right?
one. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's tough, if you like on doe, like I ran into this with doe tags. There's nothing to attach it to, and so if you notch it and put it in your pocket, so it doesn't fall off, and you get back to the truck and then tape it inside the ear, or
Yeah, that works.
attach it to a leg or something like that, then that's the right way to do it. But I've had so many people like, it fell off, when we're dragging the deer down to the truck, and you're like,
Not much you could do with
I
that.
guess
Yeah,
we're
you
going to
gotta
walk
go-
back through
Right.
the drag marks.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's all kinds of things that
yeah.
happen. I mean,
Well, I've seen them blow out of pickups.
Oh,
You,
yeah.
you throw it in the back of the truck
Yep.
and you're headed home to skin it, and you get home and there's no tag.
right.
Well, that's going to be a little harder to find.
In 3-point or better areas, the other one is, landowners, find dead 2 points and they'll call. And there's not a lot we can do unless you see it,
Right.
happen. And
Right.
so sometimes you get a description of a vehicle or something like that. And that, that's that tip stuff that you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But, knowing your target, knowing what it is. I've seen groups of deer, and you probably have as an outfitter, where you're like, there's 1 3-point and 4 bucks. Okay, do you know which one it is? I mean, just
Right.
making sure you identify your target and know which one
Well,
it is.
and I've tried to tell people before, if you were a law enforcement officer in today's world, there's people that don't respect them.
Oh, yeah.
And there's people
Dangerous.
that are mad at them or whatever. And I said, and we like to flippantly throw out numbers like, 1 in 100 are bad hunters, the 99 are good hunters. And we try to say that as 99% of the hunters are good. Okay, well, how many people has that law enforcement officer talked to in the last 3 or 4 days?
Yeah.
Because he's got to be getting close to 100. Are you the one? And himself has got to protect himself. No,
Right.
a lot of times those guys are alone.
Everybody's armed.
And so everybody's armed. You're out there in a hunting situation, whether it's with a bow and arrow or whatever. They're all carrying a weapon because, we all have a pocket knife or we all have a knife on our belt. Like, it used to be we all had some kind of a hunting knife
that's right.
that grandpa made out would put a wood handle on or a bone handle on, whatever, and so those kind of cool things. So you got to remember what in his shoes, what he's facing when he sees you walking up. And I try to tell everybody, you need to go in with a good attitude, and that will go a long ways for making his attitude better when he sees
just
you.
be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the biggest advice I could get. I know guys that try to hide stuff, and it always gets worse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
never gets
Then
better.
even if you get away with it, you feel like crap.
Yeah.
Well, you see like the grandpa scenario teaching
Yeah.
the grandkids, and he's teaching
Exactly.
them wrong or
Yeah.
teaching them something that's not
Yeah.
a great idea.
I hate these guys, or they've
Yeah.
always screwed
Well,
me,
and-
and whatever.
That's the part that I
You
don't
know,
like
there's
is you're now
some
showing
of that
kids
happens.
bad habits.
Some of that happens. I'm not saying that all game wardens are the friendliest.
I might have met
but-
one with a bad attitude.
But I mean, that's just like people, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and
They're people too.
they might have a bad day. I mean, but for the ones that I know that are the best game wardens I've met in my career, you would probably shake their hand after you give them a ticket. That's how
Yes.
they treat you like you treat them. And so, just be respectful and
Yeah, absolutely.
all that.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
It'll go a long ways for
And
both parties.
I would add, I don't want to take up too much time. So I've dealt 38 years with the FAA, right? Ramp checks, spot checks. It's the exact same scenario. Cleared customs thousands of times. In a week I'll clear it 5 or 6 times. It might be important just to keep in mind, when that guy's approaching you. A lot of times they come off a little bit abrasive. There's a reasoning to the behavior and the questioning. There's a method to the madness, just like when you pull through customs. They will talk to you in a way that'll highlight some things that aren't correct, right?
Right.
It's I won't say interrogation technique, but there's a reason why they act like they do. So if you can peel back those layers, number one, the FAA guy or the game warden, I appreciate that he's out there making sure this is all being done right. We got stuff to hunt.
Right.
I don't panic, and I'm kind of anal retentive with my paperwork and stuff, right? So
Right.
my stuff, I know right where I'm supposed to be. I've got those regs memorized. I've got a copy with me. They're highlighted. I got no pressure when the guy comes up because I'm not doing anything dumb. And same with the FAA, right? All my paperwork's good. They're welcome to check whatever. Get them a cup of coffee or whatever, because there's no threat, because I'm not doing stupid stuff, right? And if they come across something that was wrong, okay, it's not the end of the world, right? And handle it that way. But I get a lot of, especially in a certain location, they're kind of difficult to deal with until we get through the check process. Then that goes away.
Right.
And I think people, maybe listeners or something, just understand there's a technique to approaching somebody and finding out what's going on. And it may not be hey, how's the fishing, right? It's going to have if you know that, let it get through that. And then as soon as paperwork gets cleared and paperwork comes out, things change. And if you don't have your paperwork, things change a different direction.
Right.
So anyway, it's just like a custom stop or anything else. There's an attitude that comes out to flush out what you're doing. So
And
just be aware of
I'm
it.
with
It's
Eric.
no biggie.
The majority of the times that we've been involved in this, whether it was talking to me or talking to somebody that we have called them about or whatever, if everybody's honest and everybody's just transparent, it makes their job a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they're
'Cause they
going to
get
give you a
lied to all day
ticket or a
long.
violation or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. And so, and that's what I'm hoping today by getting people to look at it.
Yeah.
Because the next
Don't
page
assume
here,
what was on there last
Yeah.
year is still in there. Take a
'Cause
peek at it.
page
Talk with your buddies
75
about
is
it.
the equipment and hunting methods.
Yeah.
And so when you start talking about this, and right away I see red letters
Yep.
on page 75.
Yeah, and if you look there, they have the deal about they changed the muzzleloader allowance for scopes,
Yeah.
and so it shows that now.
Lighted Knox was in there
Yeah.
one year. So,
And
yeah.
and there's little things that they'll change, every year when they review the rules, and we have a public review process with, we put out a bunch of different line items, like there might be a change in the bear regulations, or maybe a gear regulation, or
Yeah.
maybe a
Right.
seasonal regulation or something, and the public gets to comment on some of that stuff, and then we take all that information, it goes through the system, and then we come out with a final product to the commission. Commission
Right.
approves stuff, they review stuff, the agency reviews it, and it gets put into, the change.
Right. Right.
And-
And I can guarantee you, the other one that popped out at me of the red letters was they added muzzleloader season to the crossbow season. And I can guarantee you I will see somebody carrying a crossbow during muzzleloader season.
Oh yeah.
I mean, somebody will have read this and figured it out that they can now carry a crossbow during muzzleloader season. And I have hunted with an archery stuff right up to the day before the last day of archery season, and then the next day we were hunting with muzzleloader. Okay, well, if you would have gave me a crossbow,
Right.
we would have just kept hunting with the arrow, or a bolt in that particular
Right.
deal, because
And with multi-season, you might be able to do that now.
exactly.
So
exactly.
there's going to be some opportunity.
So yeah, and I think that
the main thing is it's a lesser weapon. The safety issue. It's a little bit more.
right.
It's easier to justify the use of it during
Right.
those seasons versus during the regular archery season.
Yeah.
Right.
And same with the rifle. You can use it during rifle now.
So you need to read through these things, even
but
if you
if
think
you've
you
ever
know.
shot a crossbow, it's like shooting a gun.
It
Yeah.
is. It is exactly
And
like
they
it.
have the air bow now, which is actually on a gun frame.
Yeah.
And I mean, so you're trying to keep up with technology and changes with products and hunting itself. I mean,
Yeah.
it's evolved, and not that everybody can afford an air bow because those are really expensive.
They are.
Even crossbows
Well,
are
crossbows are-
$400-$500 for a good one, or even $1,000.
Well, the last
So-
the last late archery that we did up in Okanagan that I guided, they were showing up with $3,500 crossbows,
Yeah.
and it's just like what?
Yeah.
I didn't even pay that much for my rifle, and so but now it's pretty easy to pay that much for a rifle and set up too.
And to
so.
tie into the regs too, there's stuff for sale at the store that may not be legal, right? You got to
Exactly.
kind of have some knowledge before
Yeah.
you go to the store.
Well, you can go buy a crossbow and go shoot
and buy
all
a
you
couple
want.
things that the Garmin rangefinder,
Yeah, one of the big
laser beam that can go on your
Yeah.
bow, and you can actually have
One
that
of the big
out
ones
here,
was
but-
like with waterfowl was electronic decoys. Or
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
they
right.
had them for sale in Walmart,
Yeah.
Moses Lake or wherever.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, let's get some, but it's
Yeah,
not
don't
allowed.
assume.
Yeah, don't
In
assume.
Texas, you can use it, but not in Washington. So you have to use. So there's
Yeah.
I have a buddy that owns a company that has it's on a reel, and the wings go like this, and it kind of attracts the ducks, and so it's a mechanical's
Well,
fine, but not.
You're in the bushes
electric.
pulling
Or
the rope.
Yeah.
we used to use like a bungee cord.
Yep.
And I used to use it like a downrigger ball, like a 2-pound downrigger ball, and then a chunk of bungee and tied to a string to the decoy, and then it would go back and forth with ease. I could just pull it from the blind, and just to create that effect that it looks more real than
Yeah,
just
there's
sitting
movement. It's not just still.
there. Yeah. We used to
Yeah.
throw rocks,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yep,
just to
yep.
try to get the ducks to pay attention to us, But
Yeah.
But even like barbed hooks, right? There's areas you can't
Yeah.
use them, but they're for sale everywhere.
You
so
can
you
buy
just
them everywhere. Yeah,
you
absolutely.
kind of got to do some due diligence to be involved in this. So
All right, so page 76 is going to be your first test,
Oh,
Eric.
boy.
This is going to be the toughie.
didn't know there was a quiz.
Yeah. Because we're going to start talking about. Let's stay with the pamphlet. Let's talk about what the pamphlet says. I know you and I have our own personal feelings on this and everything, but this is a big change from last year. We're talking about the baiting of deer and elk, and moose. I believe that those are the three that they list in there. But the wording gets tricky in here, and you and I have talked about that, because does it go all the way down to grandma putting bird feed in her backyard and her bird feeder? When the bear comes in and tears it apart, are you now in trouble because
Some places you could be.
you just baited a bear in? So
We're shooting over a harvested field
yeah.
versus
So
a non.
kind of give us an idea of what the pamphlet says on baiting and what the change has been.
Yeah, so the in the past you've been able to use baiting to attract deer and elk for the purpose of hunting, and
Right.
a lot of late archery people used it. Rifle people, there's a few outfitters, whatever it is, it was allowed,
Right.
and they had a 10-gallon limit. I think
Yeah.
was
Then
what
it changed
was.
to a 10-gallon limit.
Right,
And we
and
did
all
that
that.
for, I don't know, quite a few years.
But the change is that the way it reads in here, it's that it's unlawful to hunt for deer and elk or moose using any type of bait placed, exposed, or deposited, distributed, scattered, or otherwise used for the purpose of attracting these species with the intent to hunt them. And then bait is defined as any substance that could serve as a lure, food, attraction for deer, elk, or moose, including natural, synthetic scents, and nothing that is contained or derived from cervid urine or glandular extracts. And so,
So in redneck terms,
That's everything.
can't use
That's
doe.
everything.
you
No
can't-
baiting. That's
yeah.
what I heard.
And baiting is no sense, but if you're feeding quail in your backyard, that doesn't pertain, and you're not hunting. It's not for the purpose of hunting. So there's some allowance to feeding of some wildlife, even though
Yeah,
it's not a
bait
good
pile with
it's not a
a
good practice, but a lot of
deer
people like a
stand
bird
up
feeder
there,
in the
yeah.
backyard, that type of thing. So it doesn't eliminate that, but it's for the purposes of hunting. And the main reason was the attraction to, and it was changed for the CWD.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It's a funnel point.
And as far as what they're trying to eliminate is the grouping of wildlife in those areas where
Right.
you might get the attraction of a disease. Now, is that any different than deer in an alfalfa field? Probably not.
right.
Right. We talked about this,
And that's going to be a hard. This first year is going to be tough on enforcement.
well, and to be honest, deer are social animals. They lick each other. The fawns are licked by the mom. There's all kinds of stuff. And so it was a way to it was one tool to or option to take off the list as far as exposure.
Right.
And by not attracting. So okay, we're not going to attract, but if you're a farm alfalfa, and there's some buts in the definition, and this is on page 76, exceptions,
Right.
and it says locally common ag and ranching practices, including salt and mineral distribution and feeding. So, how
Food
effective
plots?
is this rule going to be? To
Is that
be
a-
honest,
is a
I mean,
food plot
especially
naturally
so,
occurring? Or?
Well, food plots are exempt.
yeah.
It says
So-
that you can have a food plot.
Yeah,
So,
so there's certain things that hunters can do.
right. Right.
So it's not the end of the world, but it takes that.
little different technique now.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's, and in the states that border Idaho are the primary target.
Right. Right.
Region 1, but it's a statewide deal, and then we get the argument back. Well, you feed elk at Oak Creek, and
Yeah.
your agency's doing this, and so
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of
Yeah.
put ourselves in a corner at times, but. The purpose of it was to try to reduce any issues with CWD. Whether or not it's going to be effective, that
Yeah.
remains to be seen.
Well,
I
you and I
personally
talked
have my
about that.
opinions
Yeah.
on it, but
Yes.
it is what they decided to do. So
Yeah. And so we're going to deal with it,
Yep.
and we're probably going to deal with it for more than 1 year.
Yeah, that's probably
Unless it's a train wreck or something, you're probably going to see this for a year or two before we can see how this stretches out. Now,
Now, salt lick would be an attractant, right?
If you put it out there.
I mean,
If
I
it's
could see
a-
that being discretion of the person.
right.
Looking at
And
it,
that's
right?
back to what Eric was talking about, was they didn't want to change the way that guys feed cows up here on the Waterville Plateau. So if you're feeding cows on the Waterville Plateau and you're putting mineral out and putting salt out, you're not in
Yeah,
trouble if a
exactly.
deer goes over and licks on your salt. You're still okay.
You're putting out stuff to deer hunt.
yeah,
Maybe
you're-
come up with a new plan.
You're doing your normal operation, and I think there's going to be some discretion in that, because I think that's going to be tough on the enforcement guys.
Yeah.
The big thing is I agree with Eric to the point that whether I think it's the way we needed to go or not, it doesn't matter. What it really is, we're going to deal with it because it has been already decided, and we're going to deal with it. The biggest thing that I see that could come out of this, the silver lining around this dark cloud of a storm at the moment on baiting, is it going to prove to be effective? Because if it doesn't prove to be effective and it doesn't prove to do anything, then why do we continue to
Yeah.
keep it up? And those are going to be the things that are going to challenge the department in coming forward.
And to be honest, I mean, lots of things attract deer and elk and and moose or whatever, cervids. Bird feeders attract them.
Baby.
So you know, it does affect the people in the urban areas with feeders and that type of thing. So if they're not putting it out for the purposes of hunting, and there still is an attraction to deer, and you're still grouping deer, so I just don't know how effective it. I think it's going to bring it down to maybe more of a manageable type deal over time. But I think if I was a hunter, I'd either be looking at food plots or leasing alfalfa or doing something a little different. But
something to change. Yeah,
I think where you're going to see some rough guidelines is where you have ranchers with U.S. Forest Service leases, and they're putting out selenium for their cattle.
Right.
It's okay to do that, but not selenium for elk.
Well,
and deer.
You and I both know guys that have.
But there's going to be selenium out there,
leases.
So apparently you're not going to need to put any out because it's going to be up there.
Well, and they turned loose 100 head up into some grazing lease, and they got 98 back.
Oh.
Okay, well, did the other two get eaten by a bear or whatever, or die in a creek or whatever? Where is the other two? Well, there's a lot of cow guys I know that they left a bale of hay somewhere down by the trailhead, and they would go back and check it every week to see if there was any cow tracks, because then they get their cows back, and because it's.
And I've been up there and seen cows in the weirdest places.
I have too.
How do these guys find their cattle?
Well,
I always wondered that.
I've talked to a lot of cowboys that go up and get cows. Well, those cows go into those thickets, and they can't get a horse in there. They can't ride a horse in there. And if they get off the horse and they get in there, well, then they're going to lose them because cows take off, and those cows will just stand in there.
Right.
So you got to have a dog, and they'll send the dog in there to get the cow out.
That's
well, did you get them all out?
Right.
Or did one kind of stand back? The dog got most of them, and then you called the dog off to go take what you had.
Right.
You left one. So there's always those things. It's no different than my pastures up here. If I didn't walk over and look at that one little spot, there's a cow probably laying there, and I missed it. So how do I get it?
But there's a lot of things hunters can do. If you have places like if you hunt private land, there's things that you can do like food plots and different, and that's kind of a fun way to.
It really.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can figure stuff out with the land.
But you need to, that was something that hit me by surprise. I did not know it until the pamphlet came out.
Yeah.
When it came out online, and I'm flipping through it on my iPad, all of a sudden I went, whoa! How did I miss this?
I figured that was the next CWD step, right? 'Cause that's a funnel point and that stuff.
But we were all kind of
figured
watching for it.
And the agencies put out a lot of information online. They now have a CWD map. There's there's a lot of information on what to do after you get a deer down. My son, he shot a nice whitetail buck last year, and we took it to one of the wildlife areas up there in Northeast Washington and actually had them take the sample for us. And then we took the meat, we ground the meat up, we brought it back here, we ground the meat up, we put it in the freezer, and then we waited for the test to come back, which took about 2 weeks. And then it came back negative, and so now we can eat the meat. So it was kind of a different process than we had to leave the hide there and the bones, so you're basically doing the gutless method and you're doing all that stuff. So you have to be prepared now if you're going to hunt up there.
Your mount or anything like that, really?
You can bring the hide back with you, and then if you keep the skull cap clean, no brain tissue, you can bring that to a taxidermist and have it all officially. So it's no different than like if we're going out to Wyoming to hunt, and they don't let you bring any whole animals back. You have to bone things out.
Yeah, same idea. Okay, that's what I thought.
And so, it's
manageable.
I think it's just another thing that.
In the CWD, there is, You do need to get into the pamphlet and read about the CWD and what it's going to take
and
to
go
get it.
online and look at their new
And go
information.
online and look. And there's plenty of YouTube stuff now out
You'll
there.
probably see a
pulling it
bunch
in.
coming out from the agency
Yes.
before hunting season comes out.
And that's important that we all do that because
Well, it could be painful now, but it's really painful if they say no more hunting, right?
yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
after
So,
all
I
the
mean,
last year, after they did all the testing, most of the samples were still in the core area in 120 GMU 124. So it sounds like it was kind of focused there, or it still is there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so the good news is that hasn't spread,
Correct.
but that's why we're doing it, is to monitor for right now, it's those specific areas in Region 1. We used to do it when it first came out back in, I want to say it was after 2000. I was doing samples out here in Douglas County. We did it statewide, and I was doing brainstem samples and collecting them, and we were checking for CWD because it was something that we were starting to see. And so we created a baseline, and that's when we decided, okay, well, we're good. Let's just keep it in Region 1.
Well, and we need to, as outdoorsmen and hunters and landowners and everybody that deals with that CWD is going to affect us, we need to give the Department of Fish and Wildlife a little bit of a pass because I truly feel they panicked. I truly feel we jumped off a cliff when we started dealing with CWD when there's decades of information. But I'm willing to give them some grace.
Yeah, and there's budgets and
Because,
manpower.
well, we don't want CWD to
Exactly.
we don't want to just jump to the point where, we got it, so we're living with it now, and we're
Closing
doing the
everything.
same as what Wisconsin's been doing for 30 years because they've had to live with it. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
We don't need to
figure this
accept
out.
it.
Yeah.
We can fight it right now.
Right.
And so
Right.
by doing what they did, we're going to jump all the way to fight it as best we can to slow it down as best we can.
And we've lived through those states to see how they
Yes.
reacted. I have a buddy that works with APHIS for the feds in USDA program there in Wyoming, and he was hired to do CWD work, and he was like, "Yeah, they're like." They were very aggressive in how they were trying to, thinking that they were just gonna save, deer herds, and it's similar to cancer. It kind of gets in their system, and it might take several years before you see any symptoms, and then there some you will never see.
You'll never see.
Maybe that deer gets harvested. Maybe, the that stuff that's in there is, as long as you're not eating, the bones, and the brains and all where it likes to live, you're probably safe.
Yes, it's like an
So-
abundance of caution kind of. Yeah.
But it is something to be aware of, because nobody, and there's lots of other diseases
Oh, yeah.
other than CWD. We've had blue tongue, we've had,
Oh,
we've had different, we've shot deer that had been shot before, and
Yes.
you're like, oh man, I don't want to eat that now, so.
Well, and then the warts. We have the warts
Yeah.
around here
Yeah.
that we see.
Okay.
Yeah, the
And-
cutaneous fibromas. We have they're kind of something that is associated with urban areas or towns or parks where deer like to congregate.
Yeah.
So it's similar to what we were talking about, but the reason for the getting rid of the baiting was that issue. And it's that nose contact or saliva, and it gets spreads that way. And
Well, and
Interesting.
I drove. I just a real quick story. I drove up on a buck. I think I sent you the pictures. The warts had gotten so bad around his eyes that he couldn't see.
Oh, my
Right.
gosh,
He had to
really?
tip his head up and turn his head to see. And I drove right up on him, and he and I could see he was having troubles. And when I looked at him,
Yeah.
I went, "Whoa." And I actually grabbed the binoculars. He was only like 20 yards away, and I grabbed the binoculars, and I could see all the warts and everything. And then I went, so I got up really close, because he could hear me,
As you could.
but he couldn't smell me because I had the wind going and everything. But he could hear me, and you could see the ears just listening to me. And I took the pictures, because I was probably 10 yards away, zooming in, and I got the pictures, and so I could send them to you. but they were just warts.
Yep.
And
I
when
mean,
I
we
saw
got-
him later, he lived. I just thought the
Yeah.
coyotes had killed him, but he
No,
lived.
and they'll fall off,
And they'll
leave a
fell
little
off.
Do they
scar,
really? Yeah.
and they'll
Oh, interesting.
and you might not see them for a while, except for like you can tell it's the same deer because they'll have little lesions and stuff. But
Yep.
you look at our hoof rot with elk on the coast.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I
there's
was
all kinds
thinking,
of things that we have out there that we have
Right.
to deal with. So CWD is going to be one of those things. It's
Yeah, and
no
you're going to
different.
see in the pamphlet the hoof rots on one page and CWDs on
well.
the next. So that's a good one for you to
But
go.
our agency spends a lot of time trying to figure it out.
We have been
and-
talking hoof rot for
Well, and it's
20 years at least.
I mean, you gotta deal with it, and sometimes it sucks watching things suffer.
yes,
Um,
yes, it does.
and as sportsmen, we care about
Mm-hmm.
the resource, and the health of the resource, and so we don't like being told what to do or how to do stuff. But sometimes it's part of the greater good, I guess. But
Yeah.
Could be
even
the-
though I agree, I disagree with some of the things. It's still
It's still what we got to live with. And
Could be the canary in the coal mine too,
and-
right? I mean, there's
exactly.
there's a sort of a why is it doing this? Because what does that mean?
Well, and remember, we're armchair quarterbacks out here on this side of the policies that we're having to live with. So we need to where we need to hold them accountable is one thing, but we also need to trust them that they're doing
Yeah.
their job, and asking them to do that to do that well.
Everybody pull on the same end of the rope.
We
right?
have to work together, but it's our job to make sure that we're holding you guys accountable to do a good job as the biologists and as the people that have to make those hard decisions. There's times in our lives we have to make hard decisions that people get very critical about our decisions,
Oh, yeah.
and these guys have to make ones that are very public and very much out there.
I get calls every year about sick deer, sick
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
and you just people care,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
but they don't want to see things suffer, and it's just
Well, you can go online on YouTube and videos and reels and Instagram and see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos of hunters releasing a deer that's caught in a fence,
Right.
getting them off the ice, saving them
Two locked together.
they're locked together. We're cutting off a horn or whatever. I mean, you can sit and watch that all day long, and it almost brings a tear to your eye because you get emotional about, wow, that's really cool. But yet they're still hunters. They're conservationists. I mean,
Yep.
most of the hunters out there they're good conservationists. Last thing before because
It's almost
I
time.
promised you we wouldn't go 2.5 hours, but we're staying on that. I know the program, and what is it, page? I got to put my glasses back on here. 84 and 85. This is I don't know of anybody in the state that has more experience with hunter access on private land than you. I'm sure there's probably somebody out there, but you have almost seen the progression and the minutia, whatever you want to call it, whatever words out there, of how these programs have started, how they have moved to where they're at today. What would you like us to know about that?
Well, there's a lot of ground out there that we've signed up with contracts, and we continue to do that. We still find landowners that are interested in the program. We have different levels of interest. We have Feel Free to Hunt, which is basically allows the freedom for the public to go out on a piece of property, and we put signs up, and we kind of try to dictate how those hunters will be on the property. We don't want you being over here, or no shooting here, and don't drive here, and you can go and I like
There's safety
we
zones.
have one of the programs that's walk-in only hunting, which is a pretty popular one, which most landowners in the day don't mind hunters. They just don't want them driving through crops. They don't want them. So walking and hunting, that's now. Can most hunters walk? That's another
whole topic.
Because a lot of people like to drive roads
Yep.
and look for deer and that type of thing. But it's a good program. And then we have Register to Hunt, which is a little bit different. It allows the landowner to put some rules down on the property. Let's say he only wants people to hunt on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and or maybe he only wants dove hunting or duck hunting or whatever, so we try to cater that program to him. If he's that strict, or wants some
Right.
control.
Right.
And then we have hunting by written permission, which you're familiar with, but it
Right.
provides that face-to-face contact with hunters and landowners, and it gives them the option to have a conversation about, where, if there's any hunting available, if they allow, when would be a good time to go if you're filled up. The thing that we try not to do is put too much information on the internet so that it inundates the landowner, because you're already inundated because you're farming or ranching and doing all that stuff, and then
Right.
you got this hunters wanting the permission slip. So what I try to tell hunters is to ask early in the summer or spring. Spring and summer are good, but not
Right.
late summer when
Right.
people are in harvest
Yeah,
and
when you
fall.
see
You're
equipment
gonna
parked
have
out
a
there,
different
Right.
landowner with a different
Right.
attitude, But
Yeah.
Pre-planning and being
But the-
aware of these regs is
Yeah.
humongous in
Is
success,
huge.
right?
Yep.
the hunting by written permission, we let the landowner set how many permits they
Mm-hmm.
want to give out. If they want to only give out 10 a year, I don't know. We have some landowners with 100 acres and some landowners with 20,000.
Right.
So
Right.
as long as and we give the permission slips every year, so we know just as many huskies get permission slips as cougars, and so it's all equitable. We have west sider, east sider, it's not they're so we do monitor what's
Yeah.
and so it's been
Yeah.
really productive that way. But
That's great.
we have a nice website, a nice private land section online where you can actually go and it shows you kind of the map of the area and all that stuff. We also have reservation to hunt, which is a new online hunting deal, which allows landowners to have an online. You don't get a lot of control with who gets to hunt or who's going to be hunting, but it provides kind of an off-site option for, like, if you don't want to deal with anybody, we take that over. We allow some people to reserve, and that's been pretty effective for like youth hunting or specific types of hunting, like on a weekends only,
Right. Right.
or during a weekday. We've used it for waterfowl seasons where we can only hunt geese on certain days. So we
Okay.
have a quality waterfowl program down the
Nice.
basin where we've set up reservation to hunt, and you can go down there and get a property for maybe a Wednesday and have the place to yourself, and that type of thing. So it's been really progressive, and we're trying to get a new reservation system out and running here in the next few years. But the one that we have now is kind of getting outdated with technology-wise timeline. So there's still some issues with it, but we have reservation to hunt up in the Skagit Flats for snow geese. That's another area that we use it.
Right.
But all in all, it's a kind of a host of programs to try to. And when I first started, I was trying to get landowners in the program, but now that I'm older, I just I don't worry about it as much because there's enough landowners that are in it that it's not like there's a huge need, but there still is a need. So I get landowners every once in a while will call and say, hey, and now with OnX and social media and our apps that we have, everybody our maps are now on OnX, the layer, the private hunting lands layer, so
Right.
you can find out where you're at, and there's no excuses for being off
There
somebody's
aren't.
property.
That's right. There's no
So there's
Yeah,
anymore.
absolutely.
and the overlay of as long as we draw the correct map,
There you go.
it gets overlaid on OnX.
Yep.
They actually extract that data. We don't give it to them, but they extract it from the web
Oh, okay.
and put it on there.
Right.
So, but that's kind of cool for hunters, But every year I get calls from hunters that basically say, "Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of this guy," and we don't put their numbers on the internet. And there's a lot of sit-at-home hunters that want to get permission before they even go out and look,
Yep.
and it's not I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I think you
living
need
where
to
I'm
spend
at.
some gas
Yeah.
money and actually go out. We put the numbers
Yeah.
on the signs.
Yeah.
And if you can, and there's times when landowners change phone numbers, and so I'm constantly trying to make sure I got the right phone numbers on the signs. But
Yeah. Nothing beats
but we
being
do-
out there burning gas,
Yep.
burning shoe leather, right?
but
Yeah.
it is a positive program. We got, I don't know how many thousands of acres. We got hundreds
It's
of thousands
access.
of acres.
Yeah, you've
Yes,
created access.
absolutely.
That's
Well,
awesome.
what the two things I really like about the programs is, number one, it opens up some opportunity for private land for hunters, the regular hunter
that you would have
and
never
so
got.
that you would have never got. That's helping them out that really don't feel comfortable going up and trying to work through the process of getting permission. So I love that opportunity because it does give people more hunters, more people to hunt. The second thing is the programs, I believe, still offer some protection to the landowner that participates in the program as far as liability.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that I think are the best about those programs.
That's huge. Yeah.
You
And
know,
I think it's an RCW. I don't know if it's a specific related to our program. I think it's I think the state offers that to any landowners that don't provide access for no fee.
Oh, okay.
right.
So there isn't.
Correct.
We do
So the
have that
commercial
listed.
piece, yeah.
Correct.
Right. So I mean, like if you allow the public to, and which is a tricky deal because if you have hazards.
Right.
Well, along the river system, there's a lot of you
you're
can
like,
walk
yeah,
across
you can go
my
do whatever you
field.
want. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not the way that you
Yeah.
want the public. I mean, there's some risk in
Sure.
going out and hunting on somebody else's
Yeah,
land.
absolutely.
But that's why everybody should have insurance, I guess. But
well,
but the state does offer limited. It's a limited liability, is
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
well, and I'm telling you, insurance is going to be a big thing. If you're a landowner out there listening to this
It's
deal,
not going down. is
and
it?
you have insurance on your property with your insurance agent, if you allow hunting, if that conversation
Yeah.
or those words ever pierce your lips in the hearing of your insurance agent, or they see this, you need to be prepared, because there are some insurance agents out there, and I've already had to deal with this on some of my leases. There's insurance agents out there that will pull your insurance.
Yeah, it's
They
too
will say,
risky.
"No, nope. If you're allowing hunting, no more insurance." And so there is a way to deal with that with those people, and that's one of the things that I can help you out with. Is if give me a call and we'll talk about it
Yeah,
a little
you got
bit.
some
But
good ideas.
because I deal with it all the time with the 12 guys that I have leases with, or 9, whatever. I've got leases with it now. And so you can do something about that.
Yeah.
This is one of the programs that you can put your ground into that will save your insurance.
Yeah,
So you need
it
to
is.
talk to Eric about that with Fish and Wildlife. So if you just want to back out of the hunting altogether and just say, no, we just let everybody hunt because I'm tired of dealing with hunters, or we let nobody hunt because this is a way that you can,
Yeah.
just gives you an opportunity, because you
got some
are,
options.
as long as there's no fee involved. If there's a fee involved, you got to call me, because then I'll tell you how to work that system with the insurance
in our
guys.
contracts, we have a kind of a little statement about hazards,
Right.
known hazards. And so when you sign that, you're basically saying, yeah, there's an open well casing over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we know that, then we probably should put some signs around
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Or do
Show up
something
on your
about
map,
it. 'Cause
yeah.
Well, I'm out there hunting, and I got an old homestead that we're
Right.
hunting by or whatever, and
Yeah.
and you're going through, and I have no idea where their old corrals were, or their old fences, and next thing you know, some cow got stuck in some barbed wire a mile away, but it stuck in her tail or on their foot, and they brought it all the way over here, and then they lost it. Okay, so now it's just laying out there in the middle of the grass. And all of a sudden, one of my hunters falls down because he got this piece of barbed wire stuck on his foot. And he's going, "Why is there barbed wire here?" Well, I did not put it there, so I'm not responsible for it, but yet I am.
Put it over there.
Yeah, I put it over there. Exactly. And so, it's those kind of things. But yeah, that's a great point. Last thing about the pamphlet is on page 103, it says where to get maps.
Yeah.
There is, I don't know, I didn't count them, but there's got to be, about 20 different maps, different places you can get maps, and the maps that you can get, there's maps online, the department's on there, and Go Hunt and Onyx Maps are the top two that I know of, that I have on my phone, that I have on my iPad, that I use, pretty much every day, it seems like. They've done a pretty good job of picking stuff up. Anything that's posted on the internet as far as going towards hunting or trail riding, or because I see
they got fishing and
Onyx,
ATV stuff.
they have all
now.
that stuff now. Yeah, absolutely. And so they'll pick that stuff up offline and put it on as a layer on their maps. That's a great way. If you didn't know that, go look at it, and you can get that. And
then
I
a new change to them too, or an updated module now, is I can share much easier, right? So we work as a team, and
yes.
So for scouting, for property rights and making sure you're where you're supposed to be.
I need to talk to the angry pilots about that
Yeah.
because I haven't quite got the sharing down yet.
Yeah,
But people
you can
were sharing
share
with me,
this.
and I'm going, how did I get this?
Me and my buddies can share our stuff. Now you end up with history. I
Yeah.
got 10 years of data on there, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, very
or
cool.
you can send your friends a rabbit hole to chase.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Oh, look.
Oh, hey, go here.
Hey, don't
This is
be telling
really
all
good
the
over here.
You
secrets.
can run
No,
a
go try this.
disinformation campaign. Right?
Or if you want to find out if there's deer over there, say, yeah, this is a really good spot. You should go over here.
Yeah.
And then give them this waypoint and share it with them. And
Move
then
the
they're
waypoint.
like, that's the worst place I've ever been. Then you already know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there.
And so,
Yeah.
so Todd was wondering how come all these hunters are showing up at his house. Now I know.
Oh, yeah.
You're sure.
Yeah.
Well, Rusty, it's time to look at
It
your
is.
calendar before we sign
is.
out of here.
My calendar is getting, like we said last time, it's pretty cool. I've gotten to do some more fishing because I have a new Lund boat, as we all know. So I've got to do some more of that. So I'm going to be taking advantage of some of the summertime fishing that we got around here. Me and Preacher Dave have been doing some things. They closed the sockeye season, so now it's just Chinooks.
I know.
And we'll see.
Wenatchee sockeye is still open.
Oh, is Wenatchee sockeye? I
yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah,
That is
you
a
got to
good-
read the alerts
But-
as they come out and update your map.
Well, this is
right?
what you were talking about.
Yeah.
But
Can I fish there?
Yeah.
there's a big but.
There's a big
It's the only place you can find sockeye. So everybody is there right now.
Yeah.
Well,
So just FYI.
I had a
There
guy
is.
call me last night and said there was 47 boats at Chelan Falls.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
and there's
boats all the
King
way here.
salmon that's open.
And I was like,
Still.
47
only-
boats at Chelan
It's open
Falls?
up to Wells, I believe. So
Yes, up to
down-
Wells.
It's down to Wells. So and Chelan, that's a pretty good spot.
Is it?
Because of the hatchery there. And
Well, I assume the mouth of the Iniat
and
would be another
well,
spot.
Yep, there's all kinds of little spots, but that's like a good spot because BB Bridge or Park right there.
Yeah,
you
oh,
can
yeah.
launch there, or on the falls side. There's a couple of launches there. And
Well, that's what the guy was complaining about. Was he pulled into the
Oh,
BB
there's
Bridge
just
part,
not a lot of
and there was
parking.
no parking.
Yeah.
well, and the lake,
He goes, "There's boats parked out on
the
the
state
highway."
parks up at Lake Wenatchee. They basically say if you have a camping reservation, you can use the boat launch.
Oh, but you can't use.
You
What about?
can-
And that's a
so
confluence.
well, it's such a small parking lot and it's
it's
a
not
small boat
big.
launch, and they don't have the parking, so they had to make some. You can use it,
Ah.
but you can't park there. So there's all kinds of like, if you know anybody that's got a cabin in that area and along Lake, you want to find out where you can park stuff. It's kind of like parking in Leavenworth during the Christmas tree
Yep,
lighting
it's
festival.
exactly like that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you're gonna be walking.
You're going to be walking, yes. And
So,
I happen to actually know people down in Orondo
yeah.
that have. Oh my word!
Yep.
Now
So
How
I'm just
special
saying
is
that
that?
there's guys that are looking for anywhere to park up there, and so you can launch and then park
Then-
somewhere else.
then
But
Go
park
the
somewhere
state park is really restrictive. They only have so much room.
Yeah,
That's
so much room.
Bottom line, they
Well, good to
actually
know.
need a better boat launch.
So that's one thing that's on my calendar is to get some more fishing in.
Okay.
But we're still putting trail cameras out. Still getting a lot of that out, and I'm moving trail cameras.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I put a trail camera and it didn't take any pictures. So I'm just assuming there's nothing there.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it takes my picture when I walk up to it and when I leave, but it doesn't take anybody else. And so we're going to move some of those around a little bit more. So I'm going to be really busy doing that. The pheasants are pretty much all growing in the fly pens right now, and so that's been giving me a little bit of extra time to put a little maintenance into
You
that.
still have room if people want to come do some bird stuff.
We're not doing any hunting. I don't have any
Yeah,
adult birds
okay.
right now. It's all chicks and stuff. And
Yeah.
doing stuff. But if somebody wants to come out and feed birds, I'd certainly take the week off and let them do it. So, but those kind of things. But right
Let me ask
now,
this: when will those birds be ready? Will it tie into some bow guys coming into camp and give them another option?
I'm still telling everybody that we're not going to be open until 26th, which is of September.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's the last Friday of September. And basically that's just to get ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll have guys that'll start to come in and do that. That'll be we will have one cabin open on that weekend, that last weekend of September. But the other cabin's going to be full of muzzleloader hunters. So we're going to be taking care of that for deer because that's opening a
I'll be
muzzleloader
moose
season.
hunting.
What's that?
There
I'll
you
be
go.
moose hunting.
We got to hear about
and
the moose hunt.
We might have to have Eric come back and just give us an update on, hey, how'd the moose
I'm
hunt
hoping
go?
it goes well.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fun to get out there and look for moose.
Oh my
Get up
goodness!
early and call.
And they should be calling. But does the season open in September, or it's not
No,
till
it-
October
no,
1st?
So the end of September we'll be up scouting for a
Right.
few days. It opens the first.
Right, because it opens on the 1st, right? Okay.
And if you know how things go, we'll probably see like something on the 29th.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Well-
then you probably won't see it till the 7th.
Yep.
The other thing is I've had 2 phone calls asking me to go bear hunting.
Yeah.
And that opens on August 1st.
There's a lot of bears this year.
And there is a lot of bears. And I saw we have a 2 bear limit now.
Hey.
I can get 2 bear tags. So,
I'm gonna try to get out, but
and
I really don't have to get out. I just have to go up in the woods. There's bears everywhere.
there's bears everywhere.
Yeah,
Well, and I've had one landowner already tell me, Rusty, there's a bear down here. He's causing trouble.
Oh.
And we need to take him out. So, I've already told. I haven't had anybody bite yet, but I've told a couple of guys, hey, you want to go? You got to get with me now, though,
okay.
because hunting in August
Yeah.
is a little hot, and hunting in August is a little different than hunting in September or October.
And bear is delicious.
I like bear actually,
I love it.
and
We grind it up.
my favorite
Yeah.
is summer
You just go in
sausage.
and
Yeah,
cook
I
it,
was just
cook
gonna
it,
say.
cook it. You
Yeah.
know, but it's good.
It is.
Good.
I do. I really do. And since we're signing off from the man cave, looking at your bear rug up there is just beautiful. I've been staring at it because it's
My
right behind you.
First
So.
bear.
Is that your first bear? Oh man,
1998.
98, huh?
First bear, 419 pounds.
Wow.
it's a good size
And
bear.
I didn't know how big it was. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was eating pears in a pear orchard,
What?
and the landowner, another landowner, was like mad that these bears were eating his pears.
Yep.
And so
Yeah, he could reach up there.
So I went to the fence, the elk fence. He had elk fence all the way around the orchard, and I just followed the tracks up the mountain.
Yeah.
And then sat down and waited till dark. And I said, "Okay, I'm not waiting till dark. I'm gonna leave
This was a bad
before
idea.
dark." And then I looked over, and there he was. And so I shot him at like 30 yards,
Yeah.
Wow.
and didn't know what I had shot. And it was such a cool experience that I was like, "These things are awesome,"
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've
Well-
shot several bears since and eaten them, and shot one in the backyard here.
Oh, I
couple
didn't
years
know
ago.
that. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Very
get-
cool.
And I, not on purpose, he was trying to eat my
Right.
chickens, but it was
Oh,
a depredation type issue.
Okay.
And so I tagged it, and I cleaned it up and ate it, and
Yeah.
game warden signed off on it and all that.
Very cool.
But I had the hides getting tan, so I can have it down here in the man cave.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so it was a smaller black bear, but
Yeah.
I didn't let anything go to waste. Even
Well-
even in predation, as a hunter,
Yeah.
I wanted to do right by the bear.
Well, and
so-
that's the
and I like to eat stuff.
the orchardist. I love the August 1st opening before the orchardist because people do not like to work in the orchard when there's a bear in the orchard. I can't
Funny how that
imagine.
works.
And but they've also, I've also, as an outfitter, guys call me because I want the biggest bear known to mankind. Well, a lot of times the first bear that walks in on you in an orchard is not going to be the biggest bear. It's going to be one that came in way early because he knows the 400-pounder waits
Yeah,
till
yeah.
dark to come in.
Exactly.
And so he came to steal what he could and then he leaves because the medium-sized bear showed up next
Yeah,
and
there's
chased
a
him
pecking
off.
order.
There is bears are big time on the pecking order.
Especially if there's a food source.
Yes, and so how do you manage that? How do you try to help the guy out as much as you can?
Yep.
And so we try to do that. But anyway, that's on my calendar. And so with the 1st of August coming up, we may see some, as soon as I start doing something, I'll let the listeners know that we've got a bear or whatever else. So try to show some pictures. Well, Eric, I really want to thank you for
thanks so much for
letting us come down to your place.
Yeah.
We do so much at the cabin and other places, but get to come to your house is really kind of special.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much. Well,
And I appreciate
go ahead.
the your input on that on the deal. It was nice to have somebody from the department kind of talking us through what they see and everything else. And we are all in this together. And so how do we coexist and how do we make this better or whatever? So
all right. Well, from Electric City,
yes,
from the Man Cave, appreciate it.
Yep.
Super cool.
Thanks for driving over, Dave.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
That was a beautiful drive. So luckily, there's no real estate signs as I'm driving it. But,
we tried to take care of that for you too today in the pre-meeting.
Exactly, in the pre-brief. Yeah, exactly. Well, for episode number 16 now.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Very cool.
We'll sign off. Everybody be safe out there. Remember, we have a part in the due diligence, right? So you got to read the regs, got to interpret the regs. I've never had an issue calling in and having somebody help me define something or sort it out. It's a resource. They're great folks, and they just want everybody to be successful. And as far as the game officials and stuff, just remember there's a technique to what they do until they sort it out. So don't take it personal, and should be fine that they're out there policing it, making sure everything's okay. So from the cabins, or I guess what is it, from the Man Cave?
From the Man Cave,
right? Yeah, from the Man Cave. Join us for the next episode. Everybody be safe. Take care.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you. We would like to welcome to the podcast a new sponsor for 2025, HRO Adventures. Rusty and Jackie run the ultimate outdoor adventure location outside of Coulee City, Washington. Rusty provides world-class guided mule deer hunts, guided or DIY pheasant hunts, and other upland bird hunts too. If you have a special occasion coming up, a special corporate outing that you would like to set up, or a place that you would like to do your own private group training, give Rusty a call today. He specializes in the custom experience. Everything from hunting to bird watching you can find at HRO Adventures. Look them up at HROadventures.com and HiddenRanchOutfitters.com. Tell them Dave sent you.